Yeah, obviously, credit to Paul. They made it, real spirited effort. Chris obviously is doing a great job. That's not the DePaul that, that we've competed against. So, credit to them. And, it's like I say to the players, like whatever, we get everyone's best effort. I guess we've earned that. And sometimes, what we get the best version of everyone every time we step on the court. And, obviously the first half was, disappointing on a number of levels, but, just huge character step up performance from Jalen Stewart. Taris has been in a little bit of a funk, so that's the best we've seen since Xavier. I thought he played like a real warrior and played with honor, and it's something you could be really proud of. Solo, huge block, and then some big shots. And then obviously Aiden's first half, gave us some life when we were really struggling. And Jay Ross, obviously is, not much there offensively, but his defense, I thought was a real factor, and where he ends up, being a plus 12 there, in large part because he helped us shut them down in the second half, holding them 30%. So. Like I said, every game at this point is that we win is a good win.
Dan, I guess when a game plays out like that, I guess the obvious question is, what was the message at halftime? What did you say at halftime?
I just went in there for like a 45-second just tirade, and then I left to try to just get my thoughts together and think about some adjustments, and then Kamani and Luke stayed an additional minute in there and unloaded on the group, So it was a game, obviously, that we could ill afford to lose, in a game where, you your best player and, a two-time champion and one of the best players in the league, goes 1 for 14, but I credit Alex, he did a lot of other things out there. But when you're under circumstances like that, when you're already down another great player, I'm just happy that we were able to, win by 11 with where that game was headed.
And Alex played all 40, and I think he leads the Big East in minutes played, if I'm not mistaken. Is that, I'm sure part of that is Liam not being there, but is that a concern, or do you want to try to get him a little?
Yeah, it was just, you saw that game. We get down right from the start, and he does so much out there to get people organized and different things, whether it's scouting stuff on out-unders or sets that are coming or matchups, and then offensively helping people be organized with the stuff that we're running. So, I wish that I felt like there was a window to get him a minute or two, but we trailed, and I don't want to play anybody 40 minutes.
Situations like that where his shot's not falling, is it encouraging to see the way Alex is still aggressive? He had 8 assists.
Yeah.
Taking a lot of different kinds of shots.
Yeah, but I thought he showed growth of keep shooting. If he made a couple more, he probably would have taken 18. And he has to do that right now with Liam out, and it's part of his development, just coming back, for this third year and learning what it really means to, to be the face and the top guy in the scouting report, and he doesn't have the luxury of playing, on as loaded a team. So he's he's gonna continue to get better at making harder shots. And I was just happy that he stayed aggressive. I was happy that he continued to put pressure on the paint. And even when he's missing shots, he still creates space for other people to, because they're literally grabbing him. And, I don't want to do that again because.
Did you ask Solo to be more aggressive in the second half? He only took 3 shots in the first half and was really a huge part of that run that won you the game.
They guarded him well. We got some stops. He got it in transition. They're, they chased hard and they were real physical with him. And so he had limited opportunities that way. but he made some clutch shots, and the floater, the big three, the 4-point play.
Yeah, I think Friday you said that Solo was even ahead of where Hawk was at this point in his sophomore year. I wonder if you could expand on that a little bit.
Shooting, like the efficiency and made. Luke had grabbed me and said, "Hey, as a sophomore, that Solo's actually, like, from a percentage standpoint and mades, he's actually ahead of Hawk. That way. Hawk. And I thought Solo's block today was like, and I thought he had some breakdowns, but I thought he also made some athletic plays where he got passing lanes, and he just got to fly around. I think he's such a UConn, guy, and he cares so much about us and not letting us down and helping us continue to win. And he's just gotten in his own way mentally about his defense. And I think the best thing he could do is just fly around, use your athletic ability. If he makes mistakes defensively, he can make up for it because he's got vertical ability and he's got long arms and big hands. So but he's a special guy. You can see he's a special player. He'll end his career here, with more championships and remembered as an all-time great shooter, scorer, player.
And you talked about the effort and the energy to come out. Obviously you hear from the fans at one point. Is it good to sort of have them to keep you accountable, or was that moment just not sit right with you? Just hearing boos from the crowd after.
They were booing the officials?
It sounded like both. Yeah.
Well, I don't want them booing the officials either, especially Bert and Jeff, these guys, and even the young guy Nate. He's going to be a good official, and he is a good official. So they didn't deserve the boos. I don't know. I guess that's just for the fans to decide, whether this program and everything we've given them the last couple of years, whether, they believe that was the right thing to do. I'm not, my UConn fans, while I'm getting, crushed by all types of, people in the national media, my UConn fans have had my back since I've been here and are undyingly loyal to me, and and they get that same back from me, and that's why I'll never coach basketball in any other place unless you guys just don't want me here anymore. But that's for, I guess, the fans to decide whether they think, based on everything we've given them the last 2 years, whether whether that was warranted or not.
Dan, was there something really specific you needed to get across at halftime right away? You yelled to them, run, get in the locker room, and then you mentioned kind of laying into them. Is there value in just doing that with volume, or was there a very specific
I don't think it helped.
you needed to get across?
I don't think us yelling at them helped. It was more we were frustrated, and we needed to get that out of our system so that when we returned to the locker room that we could then talk about things we need to improve on and adjust. But it was, there's a standard here, and, relative to the fans and their reaction. It's just, there's a standard that we've established, that we're not at right now. It's frustrating. It's frustrating for the team. It's frustrating for the coaches. At times it's frustrating for the fans too. But I do think, if we're ever able to get, Liam on the court again and get fully healthy and get that version of Taris consistently, and get that version of Jalen Stewart consistently, and get that defensive impact, from Jaden Ross consistently, and get that type of scoring and offensive punch off the bench from Aiden Mahaney. You're seeing Hassan struggle physically. That's why his play has deteriorated. But I think we'll be able to, his minutes have been down. We're doing things in practice for him to try to get his legs back. But, again, if we could ever get, Liam back on the court here, when Liam was on the court, we were playing to a top 12 level in the country. His absence has caused a lot of problems for the team that this team can't overcome at this point. So we just got to find a way to battle until we get whole again.
How is this team at handling frustration? They're in situations they haven't been in here before. Are they good at playing through it, or is that something you're coaching them through?
Yeah, I mean it's it's stressful to play at UConn, and when you're not as good as we've been, it's uncharted territory for Alex and Samson and Hassan and Solo and Jalen and Jaden. I mean, they're not used to playing this many games like this. I mean, they're used to dominance, and then I think even the new guys, Taris and Aiden. I mean, it's a different type of pressure when you play at a place like UConn, and but these guys, what we're trying to do is incredibly hard. Like what we did. We did things that no one had ever done last year. The former national champs that went back to back. I mean, they returned their whole team. Or pretty much their whole team, or at least all the stars from their team. And what we did last year, going back to back with, pretty much only returning, I guess, 2 starters, and like that was no one had ever done that before. And now we're trying to do something that's never ever been done before. It's not going to be easy, but if we do get healthy, when Liam was in there, we were playing to a top 12 level in the country and in a very good position. Looking like a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, things have gone the other way for us. Hopefully we get him back, and then we get these guys that have been showing, like Jay Stu, 14 at Villanova, great game against Creighton at home, 6 for 7 today, 15 points. He looked really good. If we can get consistency from that, some of these guys, and this kid returns, we got a chance to get rolling again.
Yeah, it seems like you've done by and large a pretty good job against kind of the number 1 or 2 guys on each team, but some of the secondary guys seem to be hurting you.
Yeah.
Blocker,
Yeah.
kind of went off a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think part of our problem, early in the year was we weren't doing that. The best players were hurting us, and now we're doing a much better job of taking away the better players, and then maybe it's I mean, I see what you're saying. Like Maddox's numbers against other Big East teams are probably not nearly as good, and we've experienced some. I don't know what our Ken Palm luck is. Does anybody know it?
It's 242 coming today.
I don't know if it goes up or down.
Actually, to be honest.
What'd you just say?
I'm not sure either. I'll find out.
After everything that transpired out there, I don't know. 2 what?
222.
All right, so we hopped up for.
Get lucky tonight.
Is Jay Stu okay? I know he seemed like he came out, he had an issue there, but he's all right?
I'm not going to say anything. He got hit somewhere in the pelvic area, above. I won't go, but I don't want to do what I did with Liam because I think I said it doesn't look like a big deal, and now we haven't seen him the rest of January, so I'm not gonna. I don't really know.
Coach, you talked a little about a change in Aiden's mindset. It seems like he's overthinking a bit less, just thinking about playing basketball.
Yeah, I love it. I love the direction it's heading with him right now. I think if he was a little bit. Maybe even like a little bit sturdier in his second half run, he probably would have been in a 20-minute range. I mean, but he's a guy that can alleviate, the pressure on Hassan, and he can go and make plays. He can go and play off script, and there's a lot of pressure on our half-court sets right now, and people that play us twice and have long periods to prepare. It becomes a problem for us in terms of getting the same quality of shots. And he's a guy that we could put in a ball screen. He could go make a play, and somebody goes under, and he can make a 3. I like where it's going with him right now. I think he's one of the guys that we all got to get behind here. All of our fans, everyone, because if we're going to become a threat in this next 10, where we play a lot of the teams ahead of us in the standings and make a run at the regular season, and get rolling for the Big East tournament and have a chance at, to be in position to play in the NCAA tournament, then he's going to be having nights like he did the other night and giving us real production.
Take one or two more if you have them.
Have you seen consistency from Jalen in practice? I mean, it obviously isn't showing up enough in games, but in practice, is he working hard?
I mean, the thing with Jalen and Jaden, and like these guys are developing. They were the two youngest players on the court probably today by, they have a very old team. These guys are very young. These guys are just young, developing players. We knew there'd be growing pains, right? Liam's absence has exacerbated the pressure on them to produce more. But Jalen Stewart has flashed his talent for us and shown what he's capable of. It's a consistency thing. It's it's empowering him to be more assertive offensively, and he was more assertive today. And Jaden Ross, same thing. I mean, there's some things offensively that obviously are not where we want him to be, but his defensive impact out there and his length and his disruption in the second half was huge for us. Like he's got to have a breakthrough game on offense to get the confidence going. But these guys are going to be, great players here, and just acknowledge that college basketball's gotten really old, and these guys are really young, and they've got a chance to be playing a different level of basketball in February and March.